In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host, gatekeeper of this program, known here wherever you may find me. I am known as the Mighty One, Angel Snub Number 7. I am also your soul brother, number 1. Now, when I say peace forever and always, when I call you a brother, if I view you as my sister, these are words that I really mean. Brother and sister, these are words that reflect and tell us in some kind of way we're family. So I love my family like I love myself. I would never, hey, how you doing there, Marquise? I would never seek to intentionally hurt my mother or my father or grandmother or uncles or nobody like that because we're family. When I wish you peace, it makes no difference if I don't even like you. If I tell you, peace, my brother, I don't want any trouble. I'm willing to walk away. I don't want to cause you any kind of harm. I mean you peace. Peace forever. In the Muslim world, we was taught one of the worst things that you can do is break somebody's peace. To break someone's peace, I was taught as a Muslim, when you break someone's peace, that could be an action worthy of death. So in Islam, breaking of the peace is taken very, very seriously. This is why, regardless to whether the Nation of Islam is guilty, in my view, it makes no difference. It has not been proven. But in my view, the Nation of Islam, whether that organization in 1965 actually participated in the murder of Brother Malcolm X, what they did do, and there's no doubt about it, they broke the peace of a fellow Muslim, Brother Malcolm. And you just heard me what the Quran says about breaking one's peace. And not only did they call Brother Malcolm brother, and they called his family, Sister Betty and his children, their sister. Their hatred was so severe for Brother Malcolm, they did not care about breaking the peace of others. They did not care about those who loved Brother Malcolm. They did not care about his wife, his children. They didn't care about nobody. So they should not get angry that in 2019, so many voices speak out against the Nation of Islam when they have shown no remorse, offer no apology, trying to justify the breaking of peace, telling a lie that you are my brother, telling a lie that someone is their sister. You are a bunch of liars. So how can you be trusted? Why should you be supported? Look at this kind of character. You actually going to support this type of behavior, this type of character? It's very serious when we call each other brothers and sisters, and all over the internet, you have those that call you brother, call you sister, and then they'll turn right around and call you a bitch and a hoe and a thought and a nigger and a thug and all kinds of nasty names. This is the world that we live in. It's sad. I just wanted to make that point. What I actually wanted to talk about was a topic inspired by my brother Dope Coke One. Peace to my soul brother Dope Coke One. In his video, there was a video that he presented, and you can watch it for yourself on YouTube, coming from CBS News, talking about a harvest of shame. In 1960, a documentary, a story about migrant workers in 1960. And in 1960, there were a few persons coming from different countries to America. But the primary migrant worker in 1960 was, of course, soul brothers and sisters. And according to the documentary, they also interviewed some poor Caucasian people. But this goes to show you that our condition, even though we were supposed to be, our ancestors were supposed to have been free those many long years ago, you see that as long as we have been in America, we have struggled. So from slavery to migrant workers, to Jim Crow, to the black codes, our suffering just continues on and on and on. We cannot never say that we're living life. In 2019, even though we struggled, there was a sister who was just gunned down, pregnant by some pig. It makes no difference. We will shed a few tears and go on about our business because that's just how it is. Hey, how you doing there, Brother Michael? We will shed a tear for a few seconds, and then it's back to business. Back to business doing what? In 2019, back to business being a comfortable as Negro. Since we don't suffer like we used to do, now you can lay up in your house and watch YouTube, and you get 3 meals a day, you have a decent job, and go to the movies and all like that. Now you're comfortable. And we don't care about those suffering from the past, nor do we care about those who are suffering now. Those persons that's coming from South America, they are not coming here for their health. They are coming here due to desperate times. That's their home. You think they just want to leave? They're coming here for a reason. And if we understood our own migrant history, because that's the history of my grandfathers, and grandmothers living in rural Mississippi, being sharecroppers and migrant workers, that's where they come from. Now, myself, I have been blessed as they say in religion. I've never went hungry. I've always had shoes to wear. I've always had clean water. I've always had. But we live in a time, and one of the reasons why this black revolution, this struggle, the reason why it cannot get to going is because of our selfishness. Because actually, revolution would be giving us life. And there are so many of us who take life for granted. I want to wake up this morning and I want to tell you that I'm grateful because I can speak today. I can speak to you right now. I am not hungry. I have clothes on my back. I'm doing well. So as many of you are. But I also know of a time when that was not the case, not about a little bit over 10 years ago when I was locked up. But you know something, even though I was locked up, I still had good food to eat, clothes on my back. I did not suffer. There are those of us in this nation, this well-fed nation of America, who cannot say that this morning. They are hungry, they're nasty, probably haven't taken a bath in a long time. And I don't want us to get the big head because this comfortable life that you live right now, it can be taken in the blink of an eye. The only thing you have to do is lose your job. The only thing you have to do is lose a limb. You can't work. If you can't work, what you gonna do? We take life for granted. When you go to your water faucet, you automatically expect water to come out. When you flick the switch, you expect your lights to come on. There are those who don't have clean running water. Those who have no switch to flick. We take life for granted. I want you to take the time this morning. I want you to think about something. I want you to think about how you're living. Now, me, myself, I have done this, haven't done it lately. Speaking about taking our lives for granted. Have you ever been to a funeral home? I'm pretty sure many of you have not. Just go to a funeral home and you look in them caskets. From the very old, middle-aged, to infants. You can go to the funeral home. It don't make no difference what age. That life is over. That life is over. They probably wanted to see the NBA Finals this week. They probably wanted to go do some search. They probably wanted to listen to YouTube, but it's over. See, we take life for granted. We think that there's going to be a tomorrow. We don't think about things like that. We don't think about those visit a veteran's home, a VA hospital, and all those soldiers. Some of them are paralyzed. Some of them don't have arms and legs. All those soldiers that suffer post-traumatic syndrome. Why couldn't that be you and me? Why couldn't it be you and me laying up in a casket right now? Why couldn't it be you and me as a vet in that VA hospital? Or we go to a regular hospital and you have people suffering from cancer. Yes, sir, I know. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties. I don't want to be long. I already know we're going to have technical difficulties. There are so many in this country that's disabled. Some of us are blind. Some of us are deaf. I want you to take the time and why don't you just visit a homeless shelter and just look at the people. Go to a welfare office and just look at the people. And my question is, do this have to really exist? Do this have to exist? Remember, before Dr. King was assassinated, he was trying to form the Poor People's March. Poverty in 1968 was a problem in 1960, and it's still a problem. Why is this? Because we're not lovers of life. Because if we were lovers of life, we would care for those who don't have. As a pet locked up in your house because you are a lover of life, there would not be destruction of this planet if we were true love in this country and around the world, simply because of extreme selfishness. Look how many of us, how much do you and I, how much do we give? How much do we share? Some of us have way more than we'll ever use, and we don't give nothing to nobody. I got mine, you get yours. Some of us wouldn't even throw a dog a bone. You'll see a hungry dog and won't give your bones to the dog. You'll throw your bones in the trash. How selfish so many of us have become. It's pitiful. And you think that you're going to live forever. It's going to go on and on and on and on. We take things for granted. We take life for granted. And life is the only thing we know. We don't know nothing about turning it into a ball of gas and flying around the universe for eternity. Or we have a soul, and when we die, we go to planet X or some other dimension or something. We don't know nothing about that on our plate. And that is this life that we're giving in. And it could be different. This struggle that we're in, if soul brothers and sisters really knew life, they would fight for that life. But you have our leadership and all these persons, they are caught up in the material lust of this world. As long as they can ride around in fancy cars and have a fancy YouTube channel and be comfortable, that's all they need. They don't care nothing about the life of the people that they talk about. That's who I'm trying to reach. No, you don't. You never hear our black conscious pro-black folks. You never hear about what they're sharing. You hear about their mansions, their fancy cars, and how well they're doing, but they're not sharing nothing. They're not sharing their life with their brothers and sisters. In the Nation of Islam, I was taught, if I have a bowl of bean soup, half of that bowl of soup belonged to my brother and my sister. And the most hypocritical thing about all this, soul brothers and sisters, the sad thing about this, when we have children, most of the time, and the children don't want to share their toys with their brothers and sisters or cousins or something like that, you will sit that child down and give them a lesson about sharing with their family, sharing that toy, sharing that candy. But when we become an adult, for some reason, we lose that lesson that we learned as a child. And it's all about you. And we become greedy and we become selfish. So the reason why the black man and woman or soul brothers and sisters in this country, we can't really get to going is because we're greedy. It's all about us. This is mine. What about what I want? I want everybody to be Muslims. I want everybody to be Moors. I want everybody to be Christians. I want everybody to be atheists. It's all about me. Selfish and greedy and arrogant, nasty. I don't know why you was given life to begin with. Why were those who don't give a damn about life, why was they given life to begin with? That's another question I have for God. Why would you give somebody something and you know they're not going to appreciate it? Why should somebody be brought into life that don't give a damn about life? They are nothing but representatives of death and destruction. So it's very important. And I felt as though I had to say something about this because of all the suffering in this world, and it has nothing to do with race. I don't want to see nobody, no human being, not even a plant or animal. I don't like to see unnecessary suffering due to this greed, material lust. Life could be much, much better. That's why so many of us get depressed. Even those who are rich, even those who are rich and famous, many of them commit suicide because life is more than just about money and things. And so they was disappointed. They thought they was going to be living life. And even though they rich, they take themselves out, commit suicide. When you are poverty stricken, when we are suffering like so many of us do, and we suffer from diseases and other ailments, that's not life. That's just waiting your time for death, waiting for your time to go because you never experienced life. It's just suffering, lingering, waiting for the time that death has mercy on you to stop your suffering. But see, if we were surrounded by those who actually had a love for life, we would not tolerate any of this. If we have to suffer, we suffer together. So if I have to starve, my brother, all of us starve. If I can eat, all of us can eat. It's about sharing. It's about caring. It's about loving one another. That's what we don't have among us as soul brothers and sisters. And a part of these had to look out for themselves. They really couldn't look out for other people because that man or that woman or child could be sold off somewhere else. You have to look out for yourself, which causes us to be greedy. And what has it, I mean, look at the world. All this material greed. I mean, where has it gotten you? There's nobody happy on this planet. Do you think Jay-Z and Beyonce are really happy? You think Oprah, Gayle King, Will Smith, all our rich brothers and sisters running around here, smiling, skinning and grinning, ex-President Obama, you think all these people, you really think they happy? Nobody can't be happy when life is based upon something that is not even alive. Money is not alive. A car is not alive. Houses are not alive. The real riches is our companionship with our own humanity. That's life. That's your real riches. When the people on the earth are happy, all of us will be happy. Until then, nobody will be happy. It's nothing but, we're nothing but pretenders. Nobody's happy on this planet. It's impossible when you're surrounded by death. Any of us could die a horrible death by the hands of another human being at any time. Because you have an environment that's created by death instead of life. So let us, whatever, if we can do, let's share whatever we have with others. I feel very, very good when I share. Do you know, and I've seen this, some of us don't care. Do you know how it is when you are suffering? You're not playing the game, you are suffering. You're suffering and you are in poverty, and you go to the welfare office and they tell you denied. Have you ever seen the face of a person who has been denied at the welfare office? Have you ever seen the face of a person trying to get into a homeless shelter and they close the door? And see, we live so comfortable, you think that one day, you think that's impossible for you and me to be like that. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. That's the problem with so many of us. That'll never happen to me. I got too much money. Never happened to me. I'm too smart. I'm healthy. That'll never happen to me. I can see, I can dance, I can do everything. Have lots of money. You don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Do you believe? I'm going to say that again. Do you really believe Bill Cosby ever thought he would be in prison? But that's where Bill Cosby is. You think, and you laugh at some of these people because of their suffering, trying to come into America. You think that it's impossible? That couldn't be us one day? You think one day that you can go to the sink and there's no water, and the water is not going to ever come back on? Let's stop taking life for granted. Let's stop being so damn selfish. And whatever we have, whatever we can, share it with others. Even if it's with your own relative. Because you know, some of us, we don't even get along with our own relatives. What they say, charity starts at home. Makes no difference what people do to you. That don't mean you have to do that to them. So don't trip on that. I just wanted to get that off. I just wanted to speak on that. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. If I'm looking at this wrong, please let me know, because I'm not a know-it-all. Maybe I'm off base somewhere. Who knows? I just know I feel better. And I feel real good when I share what I have with others. She and Boyce Watkins and all, and Fire and people like that. I'm not sharing